Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah and happy almost October. So today we are here I am here, I should say, to pick out my October TBR. And because of it being October, I decided that it would be a lot of fun to do a themed TBR. And so I have my box here and I came up with a whole bunch of spooky themed prompts for something different to do with my knife throwing this month, a little bit out of the ordinary. And I just thought it would be a lot of fun. So I came up with all of these. I thought we could pick them out and then I could start choosing my books. So one thing that I will say is I do have, right now I am halfway through reading Ruin by John Gwynne, the next one in the Faithful and the Fallen series. But if I finish that by the end of the week, there will still be 2 books that I have not finished this month for September. So as my punishment for not finishing those 2 books, I am going to add in 2 extra throws, 2 extra prompts for October, which isn't even really a punishment because I'm really excited about all of these. But I am going to add in 2 extra books. So instead of throwing for 6 prompts like I usually do, I will be throwing for 8. I have read almost 9 books this month, so it won't be a big deal. It just won't give me maybe not as much leeway as what I normally have. So with that being said, let's choose which of these I will get set up, and then we'll choose some books. So the first one, I'll hold these up here. I've got them all upside down so that I can't see them. And then we'll just pick one out of the middle here. So the first one is Ghosts. So this will either have ghosts in the book or in the title. So we'll do that one as my first one. Okay. And then the next one is Pumpkin Spice. So something with pumpkins or pumpkin spice. Let's go with this one. Okay, so a witchy book. A slasher. A haunted setting. It's 2, 4, 5. So 3 more, and then we can get started with the throws. Alright, this one, a skull. So this one has a skull on the cover. A seasonal classic. I'm so excited for this one. One more. Let's go with this one right in the middle. Trick or treat. Okay, so with this one, I have it so that way if I want to, I can go out and buy a book and I have to read it this month. Or I can pick whatever I want. I'm going to do it as kind of a free-for-all. I can either buy one or I could just do a mood read. Alright, so I will get these put on the box and then I will go outside and I will start choosing my books with you guys. Row, I got skull on the cover. So I do have a couple options. It was actually harder than I thought. I thought I would have more than this. But the first one that I have is A Conspiracy of Bone by Kathy Reeks. This one is just a crime mystery, I believe. It says when a faceless corpse is found with a connection to Temperance Brennan, Tempe must use all her tradecraft to discover his identity and its connection to a decade-old missing child case. All the while, Tempe, still recovering from neurosurgery for an aneurysm, is battling nightmares, migraines, and what she thinks might be hallucinations. To solve the case, Tempe must go rogue and work outside the system. Her new boss holds a fierce grudge and is determined to stop her investigation, but Tempe bowls forward, utilizing cutting-edge forensic methods as she draws closer to the dark, astonishing truth. It says it's one of the absolute best thrillers of the year. So this one sounds good, but I am leaning towards one of my newer ones, and it kind of just barely fits, which is Assistant to the Villain. And if you look right there, I don't know if it'll focus, is a little tiny skull on the cover of this book, and it's tiny. But this one I just picked up at Barnes & Noble a few weeks ago, and I'm really excited about it. It says, Assistant Wanted, notorious high-ranking villain seeks loyal, level-headed assistant for unspecified office duties, supporting staff for random mayhem and terror and other dark things in general. Discretion a must. Excellent benefits. So, the description of this one, it basically sounds like she got a job working for a villain, and she shouldn't kind of have a thing for him, but she does. And it says, just when she's getting used to severed heads suspended from the ceiling and the odd squish of an errant eyeball beneath her heel, Evie suspects this dungeon has a huge rat, and not just the literal kind, because something rotten is growing in the kingdom of Renadon, and someone wants to take the villain and his entire nefarious empire out. Now, Evie must not only resist ruling over her boss, but also figure out exactly who is sabotaging his work and ensure he makes them pay. After all, good job is hard to find. So, as interesting as this one sounds for a thriller, I think I'm just going to have to go with Assistant to the Villain, because it totally has the Halloween-y vibes, and it sounds like it's going to be a blast to read this one. So for the skull on the cover, I am going to go with Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer. For my second throw, I got a Codie book, and I actually haven't gotten this one yet, but I'm so excited. I put an order in on Book Outlet. The book that is going to be coming in, one of them is going to be Pinata by Leopoldo Goat? I'm not sure how to say it, but I will put a picture of it up here. The cover is so spooky looking, and it looks just like a creepy Mexican style, haunted, culty, demonic. I'm not even sure, but it looks really, really good, and I am so excited to get it. I tried finding it on Amazon, and all I could find was the Spanish version, so I was able to get it off of Book Outlet, and it's supposed to be the English version, so I'm so excited to get it. So that is what I'm going to use for my Codie book. The next one that I got is a haunted setting, and I have a couple of books that can be options for this one. The first one is How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. I haven't read any Grady Hendrix yet, but I keep hearing good things about Grady Hendrix, and I keep wanting to try one. I found this one at a book sale for like $5, so I bought it. It says, when Louise finds out that her parents have died, she dreads going home. She doesn't want to leave her daughter and with her ex and fly to Charleston. She doesn't want to deal with her family home, stuffed to the rafters with the remnants of her father's academic career and her mother's lifelong obsession with puppets and dolls. That in itself sounds creepy. She doesn't want to learn how to live without the two people who knew and loved her best in the world. Most of all, she doesn't want to deal with her brother, Mark, who never left their hometown, gets fired from one job after another, and resents her success. Unfortunately, she'll need his help to get the house ready for sale, because it'll take more than some new paint on the walls and clearing out a lifetime of memories to get this place on the market. But some houses don't want to be sold, and Louise and Mark's home has other plans for both of them. So there is this option, or I have this one that is called Be Our Ghost by Kate Kingsbury. And this one looks like such a cozy, fun mystery. Actually, I didn't even realize it. I had gotten this from the library. But apparently this is actually the third book. So the very first one is Dead and Breakfast. The second one is Doom with a View. And this is the third one. So unfortunately that one will knock this one out because I don't like reading just books out of order. So I will be going with How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. And we will see how I like it. I know that, like I said, I've heard some really great things about Grady Hendrix's writing. My Best Friend's Exorcism, and this one, and Southern Book Club's Guide to Selling Vampires. There's plenty of them. So hopefully I will like this. And I don't know. So the next book I got was Trick or Treat, which is really exciting. I am going to hold off, I think, on choosing this one until I do get my box from Book Outlet. There is one on there, I think it's called The Hunger or The Hunted by Amakatsu. I'll put a picture up here. But I am so intrigued by that one. It is kind of surrounding the Donner Party back in the day, and that, for whatever reason, I'm always interested in books that have to do with the Donner Party for some reason. So I might go with that one, but we will see once I kind of get to it, and we'll see what else I've chosen. So for right now, I'm just going to hold off on choosing my Trick or Treat book. So then the next book that I got is a seasonal classic, and I'm really excited about this one because I do have a couple here at home that I would really like to read and that I haven't yet. So the first one is, can you see that? Frankenstein. Everybody knows Frankenstein. So that is the first one that I have. I've never read this. I've had this on my shelves for a while now. I got it secondhand at Goodwill, so there's like no cover on it or anything. It's just the book. But I am really intrigued to try this one. I also have The Hound of Baskervilles by Arthur Conan Doyle. And from what I've heard, this is supposed to be like one of his creepiest Sherlock Holmes books out of any of them. So I'm really curious. I've never tried a Sherlock Holmes book before, and I'm really intrigued to try it. Another book that I also just bought from Book Outlet is this beautiful edition of Dracula by Bram Stoker. I have wanted to read this book ever since I was a kid. I don't know if any of you have ever seen them around, but they used to have the Great Illustrated Classics books that you could get that are like a condensed version of the original classic novels. And I read that one when I was just a little kid, and I thought it was so good. I loved it. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I felt like such a grown-up reading the mini version of Dracula. So I'm really excited to read that one. So I think, obviously, because it is a brand new one and it's such a beautiful copy, and I'm so excited for it, that I think I'm going to have to go with Dracula by Bram Stoker. the next one that I got is a witchy book, and there are so many options for this. There's romance, there's horror, there's there's so many different things. You could do fantasy for this, whatever. But I did just get this one for my sister and I to read together, and it is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. I've heard of it, and I never really paid much attention to it, and then I heard that it kind of had the vibes of House in the Cerulean Sea, and I needed to have it. I read House of the Cerulean Sea earlier this year, and I absolutely loved it. 5 stars, hands down. And so when I heard this one had the same kind of vibes as that, I had to pick it up, and I'm so excited to read it. So this is going to be my witchy pick. Oh, and that's by Sangu Mandana. Seventh book that I got. I got Cat on the Cover, and if you guys watch my library catch up video, you know that I have Last House on Needless Street by Catriona Ward from the library right now. I am going to choose this one. Like I said, I really don't know very much about it. I know that it is a thriller and that there is a perspective from the cat. And that's pretty much all I know about it, but I am so excited to read this, and so I am going to fit this in for the cat on the cover, because obviously he's right there, and he has his own perspective in this book. So this is the one I'm going to choose for that. Last prompt that I got, the 8th prompt that I got today was Salem. Now, I didn't realize this to start with. I don't have any books that are based around Salem or the Salem witch trials or anything like that. So I picked out a couple of books that kind of give me those vibes. The witch hunt, witch trial vibes of Salem. So the first book that I have is Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. This is by John Berendt. I got this one a couple of years ago off of Amazon because it just sounded really intriguing. So it says, genteel society ladies who compare notes on their husband's suicide, a hilarious foul-mouthed black drag queen, a voodoo priestess who works her roots in the graveyard at midnight, a morose inventor who owns a bottle of poison powerful enough to kill everyone in town, a prominent antiques dealer who hangs a Nazi flag from his window to disrupt the shooting of a movie, and a redneck gigolo whose conquests describe him as a walking streak of sex. These are some of the real residents of Savannah, Georgia, a city whose eccentric mores are unerringly observed and whose dirty linen is gleefully aired in this utterly irresistible book. At once a true crime murder story and a hugely entertaining and deliciously perverse travelogue, Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil is abrasive and intoxicating as half a dozen mint juleps. So this one sounded really intriguing. Like I said, I've had this one on my TBR for a little while, and I'm really curious about it. I want to try it out and see how I like it. The other book that I have that I really got, especially for this prompt, from the library was The Year of the Witching by Alexis Henderson. Part of the reason that I got this one was because Kayla from Books and Nala, and I believe that Codie and Sid have both read this as well and have enjoyed it. So I've heard really great things about this book, and that just immediately makes me intrigued. So it says, a young woman living in a rigid, puritanical society discovers dark powers within herself in the stunning feminist fantasy debut. In the lands of Bethel, where the prophet's word is law, Emmanuel Mora's very existence is blasphemy. Her mother's union with an outsider of a different race cast her once proud family into disgrace. So Emmanuel does her best to worship the Father, follow holy protocol, and lead a life of submission, devotion, and absolute conformity. Like all the other women in the settlement, but a mishap lures her into the forbidden dark woods surrounding Bethel, where the first prophet once chased and killed 4 powerful witches. Their spirits are still lurking there, and they bestow a gift on Emmanuel, the journal of her dead mother, who Emmanuel is shocked to learn once sought sanctuary in the wood. Fascinated by the secrets in the diary, Emmanuel finds herself struggling to understand how her mother could have consorted with the witches, but when she begins to learn grim truths about the church and its history, she realizes the true threat to Bethel is its own darkness, and she starts to understand that if Bethel is to change, it must begin with her. So this one I am very intrigued by. I've heard great things about it, and I would really like to try it. So I think that between these two, I am going to go with The Year of the Witching because of what I've heard about it, and it is from the library, so I think I'm going to go with this one. All right, so that is the 8 books that I have chosen. I'm kind of thinking that if I fly through all of these, I might throw my knife a few more times because I have a bunch of books in the other room that I got specifically to try and have books for all of these prompts. So I'm really excited about it, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. Usually a lot of these, like the thrillers and stuff, go pretty quick for me. I can generally read a thriller within a few days if I'm super into it. I know not all these are thrillers, but I am very excited. So let me get these together. All right, so I have these 5 books on my TBR, plus Pinata and Dracula. And I'm going to have my trick-or-treat book that I will pick out once I kind of have my books and kind of get my feet under me. I have a chance to figure out whether I want to go spooky or if I want to go cozy or just kind of how I'm feeling. So I'm going to hold out on that trick or treat. So I will grab this. I will put that on top so I don't forget. But these are the 5 I have with me right now. The rest of them are on their way. And I should have them very soon. So I'm really, really looking forward to it. If you've read any of these and think that I will like them, please let me know. I'm so excited to try them all out. If there are any other books that you would recommend for spooky season, like I said, I have hopefully a whole bunch more that I'm going to try and read. And then please like and subscribe if you like this video and want to see more from me. I should have my September wrap-up coming soon. Like I said, I've read almost 9 books so far, which is really unusual for me because I don't normally read this many books in a single month. And possibly a book haul coming if you guys would be interested in that for all the books that I got in September. I will let you know when I start reading. Hopefully I'll have a vlog coming out soon with some of the books that I'm reading. And in the meantime, happy October. I hope you have a great rest of your day and happy reading. Bye.